Revenge films.
I'm Eleanor, a 60-year-old housewife living in the countryside. My son is very intelligent, and I've always been proud of him, since he was in elementary school. His grades were good enough to pass Harvard, but considering the cost of tuition and living expenses, he decided not to move to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he instead went to a local national university. I still regret that to this day. While studying on a scholarship, my son won several project contests held within the university. After he graduated from the National University, he and his other university classmates worked part-time jobs while in school, and they raised $30,000 as capital for their startup company. Their startup company had grown to generate sales of several tens of millions of dollars. I don't know the details of his work, but all I know is that they built the headquarters in New York, and he even bought a house in New York, so I was very happy for him. He then introduced his girlfriend to us, who he has been in a relationship with for 4 years. I was truly happy for him because he was fulfilled in all areas of his life. However, those happy days came to an early end. During those periodic medical checkups, when my son was 35 years old, he was diagnosed with cancer. It was a terminal cancer that he was already in stage 4. The doctor told him that he did not have much time left on this earth. So, this is what a bolt out of the blue feels like. I felt truly sorry that my son had to go through that. However, my son, on the other hand, said,
I will make sure that the company will run smoothly, even after I'm gone. Also, my girlfriend told me that she wants to break up. I guess she has a point. Who would want to marry someone about to die anyway, right?
He sounded unfazed by his illness. However, one day his girlfriend suddenly changed her mind, and she told him that she wanted to marry him. There was no way I would allow her to marry my son, when he didn't even have much time left on this earth. So I tried to convince my son, Mike, don't you think Cassandra will be very sad when you pass away?
I did tell Cassandra that I can't marry her, but she said that she will die with me if I don't marry her. She takes care of me 24/7, and she told me that she wants to be my wife, even if it's just for a day. If that's the case, I thought that maybe we should just invite our close family members and have a small wedding. Mom, will you please accept Cassandra to be my wife?
The other members of my family and our extended family members were all against the marriage.
I'm sure Cassandra just wants Mike's money, because the first time he told her about his illness, Cassandra told him that she wanted to break up. It's very strange and unusual for her to change her mind all of a sudden, and to say that she wants to marry him.
I also thought the same thing. My son's wealth is not something that he inherited from me, and he earned with the money himself, so I don't have the right to tell him what he can and cannot do with his money, but I think my son is a bit too good-natured. Having those thoughts, my son requested that I...
Even if that were the case, I want to believe in Cassandra, because honestly, I'm afraid of dying. And even if that were a lie, I feel very happy that she tells me she wants to be by my side. But if she's really only after my money, I don't think I can forgive her in that case. Mom, I have an idea, so please, don't worry about it. If something happens, my lawyer will sort things out. So please.
I couldn't ignore the pleas of my son, who didn't have much time left in this world. So I had no choice but to permit him to marry that woman. Around 10 family members gathered in a small hospital room and became the witness of the wedding. After the wedding, my son looked happier and healthier, so I thought that a miracle had happened, but a month later, my son passed away. Seeing Cassandra caregiving Mike devotedly every day for a whole month, I thought, so I was wrong after all. I'm sorry for misunderstanding. I'm glad that my son actually met a good wife, so I hope he rests in peace. I visited his grave and prayed. However, the bad feeling I had was not a mistake at all. After the funeral, Cassandra went back to New York. One day, received a call from her. Hello?
Hi, mother-in-law. I'm here at the house right now, and I searched for the documents but couldn't find them.
What documents are you looking for? a certified copy of the house registration and the insurance and the bank book.
Do you have any idea where they are?
Oh, those documents. I'm pretty sure those documents are with the lawyer. Why are you looking for them?
Huh? Did the inheritance process already begin?
What are you talking about? What inheritance process?
Because mother-in-law, after filing the death certificate, everything Mike owned will become mine, right?
It hasn't been that long since Mike passed away. But you're already talking about inheritance? Isn't that a bit too early?
Mother-in-law, what are you saying? Those who passed away have passed away, and those who are still alive are still alive. Things that need to be done should be done already, right?
You told us that you don't have any interest in Mike's wealth, didn't you?
Mother-in-law, both you and your son are clueless. What idiot would marry someone about to pass away? I'm not a volunteer, you know.
My hand started shaking and I stifled, choking up my tears that I had difficulty continuing the conversation. I was mortified with my son passing away at a young age, but I can't believe that his wife only married him for his money. He probably won't be able to rest in peace.
I'm done with all the pretending since I am married to him. I have the right to inherit his wealth anyway. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Just give me the number of the lawyer and we're done.
I feel so bad for Mike. He even told me to take care of you. You really are. I then called the lawyer and he told me that he was a bit surprised that Cassandra contacted me early. We then arranged to meet. The lawyer told me to bring my phone and my son's phone with me. I don't know how much my son's total assets were, but I wouldn't forgive myself if that woman took even a penny from my son's possessions. So that night, I couldn't sleep and I tossed and turned in my bed. The next day, I went to the lawyer's office. He told me not to worry because my son has already taken care of things. I didn't really understand what he meant when he said that my son had taken care of things. I then handed him my phone and my son's phone. According to the lawyer, my dependable and reliable son installed a phone app which records automatically. He then continued to tell me it was to collect evidence on the kind of conversations I had with his wife. Then he also installed a small camera to catch his wife with her lies, if ever she was lying. The camera was able to record Cassandra's phone conversation with her friend. The following is the content of the conversation.
Cassandra, are you really going to get married? To marry someone about to pass away? Are you pretending to be a hero of a sob story drama?
Yeah, just attend the wedding ceremony and just pretend that you're very sad, okay?
This is tedious.
I only invited you and Veronica, so before attending the wedding, meet up with Veronica and rehearse properly, okay?
So what are you going to do for us if we attend your wedding?
How about a handbag from a luxury brand?
Wait a minute. Are you sure you'll be able to inherit his wealth?
We will submit the marriage registration form on the day of the wedding, so yeah. I had a difficult time convincing him to agree to that, though, because he wanted to get married. But he didn't want to submit the marriage registration form.
Really? Well, you really are doing so much with nursing him and acting.
But it's all worth it in the end, because when he passes away, everything he owns will be mine.
How much does he own?
I don't know the details, but I think with just the house alone, it'll amount to $1 million. And the company has annual sales of about 10 million sales. So I think I'll receive a lot from the stocks. Also, there's money coming in from his life insurance.
Huh? Insurance money?
I heard with the cancer insurance, I'll be able to receive $1 million. I'll receive several $1 million just by marrying a man and by putting up with nursing him for a while. A very profitable business, isn't it?
Well, if you put it that way.
It would be easier for me if he passes away early, though.
What about Mike's parents? Didn't they oppose the marriage?
Since I took care of Mike at the hospital every night, and since I told them that I am not interested in his money, his parents approved of me.
If they knew that you're trying to take all his money, I'm sure they won't shut up about it.
They are farmers in the countryside, so they won't understand a thing. It pained my heart even more when I remembered my son telling me to take care of Cassandra after he was gone. Seeing me very disappointed and in tears, the lawyer said,
"Please don't worry. Mike didn't watch these clips at all. He just made sure that the truth be revealed to us, so we can do something about it after he dies. Please, rest assured, because Cassandra will not be receiving a penny from his possessions. And we will do it under legal conditions, so please, don't worry about us.
The lawyer assured me. After that, the lawyer, Cassandra, and I scheduled to meet at a cafe inside a hotel. Cassandra looks very excited.
I will be reading the last will and testament of the late Mr. Mike Moore, who passed away on the following day of the following month of the following year. All the possessions of the late Mr. Mike Moore will be inherited by the wife, Mrs. Cassandra Moore.
Hearing the last will and testament being read, Cassandra gave a huge smile, while I was astonished by what I heard. The lawyer then paused and looked at me. He then continued to read the last will and testament.
Mrs. Cassandra Moore, the wife of Mr. Mike Moore, who inherited all the possessions of Mr. Mike Moore, should move out of the house on the following day of the following month.
Hearing those words, Cassandra's face started to distort.
Mr. Lawyer, don't you think it's strange? Why do I have to get out of my own house? Didn't you mention just now that I will inherit all his possessions?
Yes, you're right about that. However, there was a request to vacate the house in another case, so I will have to ask you to vacate the house that you're currently living in. The house that you're currently living in actually is under the name of Mr. Mike Moore's mother, Mrs. Eleanor Moore.
What are you saying? I took the copy of the family register.
All the possessions of Mr. Mike have been processed as a gift to his mother, Mrs. Eleanor Moore, before you got married to him. That is why Mr. Mike currently doesn't have anything under his name.
The lawyer then showed the official copy of the family register. I looked and saw that the house was under my name.
What?
Cassandra's face turned bright red and she was about to explode. Thinking that this might be what my son was talking about, tears started rolling down my cheeks.
What? Then what about the insurance money? The legal heirs are supposed to receive that, right?
The lawyer then showed her a copy of the insurance where my name was written on it instead of hers.
What? There's no way this is happening to me!
Cassandra screamed so loud that her voice echoed through the cafe. The lawyer then handed me a letter from my son.
To my beloved mother, if you're reading this, it probably means I'm already gone. I truly feel lonely that we had to part ways this early. I'm very sorry for thinking only about myself when I married Cassandra. I made precautions just in case, but I really hope that Cassandra means what she told me. If ever Cassandra unfortunately betrays me, I already told the lawyer what to do, so please, don't worry about it. However, if ever Cassandra is actually serious about me, I have a favor to ask you, Mom. Please, allow Cassandra to continue living in our house. Then, after a year, please hand her $1 million so that she can restart her life. If even after 5 years pass, she still can't forget about me, please give the house to her. And please make her forget about me so she can move on. If she doesn't have greed for wealth, I'm sure she will be satisfied, even with just $100,000. I'm truly sorry for everything.
Cassandra continued to claim that the house belonged to her until the end. She didn't want to give up on it, so she searched for a lawyer. We then filed a lawsuit against her, and finally we were able to drive her out of the house. She kept on calling me, but I just ignored all her calls. It seems like her sinister plan didn't work for her at all. To this day, I still don't know how much my son's total possessions amount to, but he left us with more than enough money. My husband and I could spend within our lifetime, so I'm content with that.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.